Hey, we are live. We're just getting connected here. Luke's with me in the garden. If you ever go on to someone's live stream and the first thing you see is the creator go, "Oh, look, we're live, hey." That's because sometimes the app just sits and spins and spins and spins and you're just not sure when you're actually going to go live, so it kind of surprises you. Let me make some adjustments here. Luke promised me that he would smile at you guys. You gonna smile at him? There's a little smile. He wanted to come sit in the garden with me. He is feeling a little bit better. He's been perking up and eating. He has even been smiling over the last week or so. We haven't seen a good smile out of him for about a month, but he's been doing okay. So hopefully he'll perk up and he'll see you guys talking about him. See, it says, there you go. Luke, good morning, Luke and Blake. God bless you, Luke. See, people are talking to you. Okay. All right, we're going to get my fuzzy microphone hooked up. How's the audio? Are we good? Good morning, Luke. Josephine Gallegos. Is the audio good? Texas Blacksmith, good morning, Luke. Good morning. Luke is looking great. He is looking a lot better. Okay, I'm guessing the audio is fine. You're good. Great. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back through, check out, see who's here this morning. Oh, you guys have already been chatted. Okay, so let's see. We got Meredith Grace, We Tree Bonsai, Twice the Bacon, Weekend Homestead, Harry Summer. Scrolling through, DD Dreamer 1995. Let's see here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Jamie Bird, Twice the Bacon. I already said that. Good morning twice. Twice the Bacon. Good morning twice. Donna Richard, Sibby Etu Manor. Of course I said that wrong. Sandra Thomas, Liz Lopez, Nikki Tierney, Josephine Gallegos, James Green, Texas Blacksmith 10, Evan Morris, good crowd, good crowd. Let me get to the bottom of this here. Sarah Fernandez, Dociene 3028, Abby Bohm, Texas Blacksmith 10 starting off the day with a $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. Your gifts are greatly appreciated. That starts the morning off beautifully. Thank you so much. Sherry Ambrose, POV Antagonist. Mystic Crossbone. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Sandra Thomas. Luke, do you have a favorite vegetable? She's asking you, do you have a favorite vegetable?
Pepper.
Peppers? Yeah. Okay. Bame. Okay. Abby Bame. See, I always say it wrong. And then, let's see, pronounce Dulcinea? Dulcinea? Very good. I'll probably still mess them up, even if you guys help me out. That's okay. I mean, I do my best. I never say anything mispronounced to be rude. It's just I don't always know how to use, especially sometimes they're screen names instead of actual names. Worm Turns Florida. You made it. Good morning. So good morning to everyone. Evan Morris, thank you so much. All the best with your farm, he says, with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the creative efforts here on the Daddykirbs farm. It really means a lot to me. It truly does. Mystic Crossbone says, what are your favorite animals? Luke, do you have a favorite animal? Do you have a favorite animal?
Ducks.
Ducks. He does like the ducks. He likes his dogs too. Okay, so this morning, now that we're kind of in here and chatting and having a good time, I'm gonna start the chat with a focused topic on beekeeping, at least some of the questions that's been given to me through the video, the last video that I produced yesterday about beekeeping. And I brought this prop out just to have something to take a nice picture with. This is one of the beekeeping frames that has all the comb built out on it. You can see here, this is where they would store honey. This one is very light colored, so this one probably had honey in it last before I extracted it. So I wanted to address some questions. Texas Blacksmith 10, did you have any hail damage from the last round of storms? We had itty bitty, smaller than pea size hail, no damage. It came in real heavy, but we didn't get any damage with that. So I'm gonna look away from the screen for a minute, so I might miss some of your chats, but I'm gonna read some of the comments that I've gotten on the videos, the last video. All of these comments were on the last beekeeping video, and that was produced yesterday. It published yesterday morning. And I was kind of sitting last night thinking about what am I going to do this live chat on? Because I generally feel like there needs to be a topic, at least to start the conversation. So I started reading through some of my comments, and this one really caught my attention. I really actually love this comment, and I'm hoping that Carrion Garden Guru, that's the person who posted this question, I'm hoping that they can show up or at least watch this in replay later so that I can address their question directly. It's a comment really, not just a question. He said, I never dislike any of your videos, but man, you rushed. Talked quickly, worked quickly, smashed bees. It's not a good idea to split a hive when you have your hands so full. Slow down. Many folks here learn about beekeeping, about keeping bees. I hear you when you say you have no time. So, decision time, sell a few hives and go down to 2 so you can manage, ? I guess my point is I felt like you're treating them as expendable livestock. It's not that important to get a video up as the bees are. Now, at first that might sound like a slightly negative comment, but I really took it as a positive criticism and someone who was truly concerned about what's going on with me, my homestead, and the bees. So I want to kind of pick this apart and talk about each piece, because there was a lot in here and I really wanted to have a conversation. Carrion Garden Guru, I'm not sure if that's male or female, I can't tell with the name, but I really wanted to have a conversation with Carrion because there's a lot in this comment that just makes me want to have a conversation. So, first of all, he said, man, you rushed, you talked quickly, and you worked quickly. Let me address that. That video that I put out yesterday morning was about an hour's worth of video. And I had to cut it down because generally speaking, I know most of my audience are not beekeepers. So when I'm editing video, because I'm more than just a beekeeper or a gardener or a homesteader, I'm a creator and I create these videos, and I have to always think about, first of all, make the video satisfy my style because it's my creation. I have to end up being happy with it. But I'm also always thinking about you guys and trying to figure out how are you going to enjoy this video. I don't want to just put out a video just because. I want it to be something that will entertain, educate, and encourage. And sometimes I'll miss one of those three. Like maybe this one wasn't extremely educational, but it was entertaining. I'm hoping that's true. So when I'm editing the video, I have to go through the thought process of how can I make this entertaining, and a lot of times that means cutting out a lot of really slow, boring stuff. That video having an hour's worth of beekeeping footage, and I could have shot even more than that, but several times I turned the camera off and did what I had to do. So you guys got a 10-minute package video where there was well over an hour of experience, my experience. So I had to cut that down and edit it in such a way that I think that you guys are going to appreciate it. In this case, it's very possible that I may have misled what was going on, because there were times when there probably was, you know, a good 5-minute stretch of video that had some steps in it that would show how slow and methodical I was really being, but I cut it into maybe 20 seconds because I chopped it up and put it together so that you could see sort of the important chunks that made the video flow. And that was the only way I could get it down to a 10-minute video. The video started out, I had it chopped down to about 25 or 30 minutes, and I thought, you know, most people just aren't going to care about most of this, so I kept chopping it until I was happy with an entertaining video. And so when it talks about how quickly I worked and how quickly I talked, you probably are getting the perception of very fast talking and working, because I went from one segment where I was talking and working to another, to another, to another, and all the slow parts in between were chopped out. So that's one part of the comment. Many folks here are to learn about keeping bees, and I truly appreciate that. And I hope that people can learn about the subjects that I show. Beekeeping is one of those that's going to be very difficult to learn a lot, because I'm not a confident beekeeper. I'm not one that is projecting myself as an expert at all. All I'm doing is showing my journey, recording it for my own sake so that my kids can watch that, and then always so that you guys can have something to watch, to be entertained, and to see what's going on here on the farm. Let's see, hold on. Someone's always going to say, Liz Lopez, it's a long comment, so I felt like there was probably something there. Someone's always going to say something about your content. Personally, I understand a lot of effort goes into filming and editing and finding engaging and entertaining content. You're doing great. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's true, and I do have to find a balance, because I don't want to mislead people, and I don't want people to think that beekeeping is fast or easy or anything. But you know, I do have some longer beekeeping videos, and they show more steps. In this case, on this day, there were really a lot of very slow, boring chunks. Now, there were probably 40 or 50 people in my audience that would have appreciated seeing that entire long, boring video. But most of you, you're not beekeepers, and you wouldn't have cared. So I want to produce something that is going to be good for everybody, or most people. I can't please everybody. Let's see, Twice the Bacon says, I am a beekeeper, and I know how you feel when the bees get mad. Boy, do they. I am relatively new to beekeeping, me, not him. Relatively new to beekeeping, so some mistakes might happen, and you will help us, let's see, help you out if you ask us. And I truly do appreciate all of the comments and suggestions and advice. I really do. When I read through the advice, I filter all of that through my understanding of beekeeping, my understanding of my situation. Tangi, the caver's wife, in the house. True, people can't totally judge a creator by what they see on YouTube, and that is absolutely correct. And June Davis would like to see you smile. Can you smile? Can you give just a little grin? Sometimes Luke doesn't. He just sits there and he's just soaking everything in. And Kate made it. Good morning, Kate. Are we going to see Luke's garden today? Yes, I will turn you around and show you the garden. I think you're going to be surprised. You know what? I'm going to continue with the beekeeping, but just as a fun interruption, I'm going to show you Luke's garden. Let me turn the camera around here. This is Luke's garden over here. Check that out. With his squash. Squash is growing up real big. His peppers growing up very nicely. You can see even a little flower down there. The strawberries, he's already enjoyed 2 strawberries off of that. And his tomato plant, you can see back there where there's even, where are they? Right there, a few tomatoes. So that's Luke's garden. And there's some white cucumbers that are doing really well. And some of the tomatoes doing well. Okay, let's get back seated here. Put you back on top of your 5-gallon bucket right here. I showed him your garden. He has, like I said, he's had 2 strawberries out of the garden already, and he loves taking care of that and eating those strawberries. Brick Chilver says, I loved your bee video. Thank you. Thank you for watching it. Twice the Bacon, how's Luke's garden doing? Glad I got to show that to you this morning. Okay, Luke, I am your father. You know, what's really funny, I'm such a nerd, that when it was 20 years ago, when Luke was born, almost 20 years ago, Luke was born, and part of the reason I wanted to name him Luke was so that someday I could look at him and say, Luke, I am your father. It's true. And we even contemplated naming him Luke Skywalker Kirby, but that didn't happen. 3 Chicks Urban Farm. I'm new to beekeeping, getting my first package next Wednesday, and found your video informative. This is why I don't do live. Informative. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something. At least, maybe you'll learn what not to do. You know, that's always educational too. Let me scroll through. Lots of thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay. Lauren Spencer watching from Australia. Thank you for hanging out with us. Okay. Wow. Wow. Lots of great comments. Luke, Suburban Hillbilly. Luke, I enjoyed watching the video of you planting your garden. A lot of people like your garden, Luke. It's a really cool little garden and people love it. Tangi says, great job on the garden, Luke. It's beautiful. You're doing a great job. Live Farm Alarm says that. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the beekeeping subject. I keep getting the warning that my connection is poor, so I hope you guys are doing okay. Take a little break here. You guys grab your tea or your coffee or your soda or anything else that works out for you and take a break. Ah, that coffee's good. Okay. And Kayako Seiki from Japan. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hello, Japan. Okay, back to the beekeeping. I'm still on Carrying Garden Guru's comment. He said, sell a few hives, go down to 2 so you can manage them. That's probably a really fair suggestion. But let me tell you something I'm working on. I don't like to make a big deal about this, but the state of Texas has a deal where you can become agriculturally exempt on your property for taxes for bees. It's brand new as of 2 years ago, I think. State of Texas said if you have 5 acres, you can become exempt for keeping bees. But part of the exemption is that you have to have 5 years worth of beekeeping, 5 out of the last 7 years in production, meaning that you're actually doing the beekeeping. And you have to have 6 hives on 5 acres. And then the more acres you have, the more hives. And they have a formula for how many you need. And I am in my 5th year of beekeeping. So by this time next year, I need to have a total of 6 hives operational and producing in order to achieve that tax break on my property. And it's not all about money, but every little bit helps. And in order to maintain a farm, a property like this, the mortgage and the expense of everything that we're doing here, and even the expense of doing the YouTube videos, because everything costs. Excuse me. So getting that exemption could be one way to reduce my expenses just a little bit to help out here on the farm. And if I can do 6 beehives on my farm and maintain exemption to get a little bit of a tax break, then I can also learn about it's going to force me to learn to beekeep. And it's going to be one of those things that keeps me focused and keeps me doing something. And in time, possibly, I will end up being a local beekeeper that people can rely on and trust for having honey every season. So there's motivation there. So there's part of that comment. So the decision time is that I am actually... the Weekend Homestead, thank you so much. A little love toward the beekeeping fund. Thank you so much for that $2 super chat. I truly appreciate that. You don't have to do anything, Will. You're the moderator. You're helping me out. You don't need to do that, but I truly do appreciate it. And just to be fair, anyone that's here that has not seen the Weekend Homestead channel, you need to go check that out. Wait, not yet. Finish watching my live stream. Save it for later. As soon as you're done here, go check out Will at the Weekend Homestead and see what he's got going up there. So far, no beekeeping, but he has a beautiful orchard and beautiful land and a cabin that looks more like a small mansion than a cabin. And it's a really cool place. Okay, so the last part of this comment was, I felt like you're treating them as expendable livestock. That's not the last part. It's the second to last comment there. And I'm sorry that my editing made it look like I was treating them like expendable livestock, but I really don't. And you say, when you talked about me squashing bees, there's one part in there where I'm lowering a lid, and it might look like it happened quickly, but I want to let you know that lowering that lid and getting that thing all the way down took me about 3 minutes. Of course, I wasn't going to put that in the video because that's a lot of just silliness in a video. But I'm pretty sure at that moment I squashed 0 bees. I'm not going to say no bees ever are squashed, but I'm getting a lot better at not squashing bees. And then he says, it's not that important to get a video up as the bees are. I know that for sure. That video was shot on a Monday night, edited on a Tuesday night, and released on a Wednesday morning. So there was plenty of time. I was not rushing the video to get it up. So, okay, let me check out some comments here. Let's see, Ann Hines. Not sure how old your kids are, but you have much going on. Oh, I lost it. Hold on. You have much going on. How do they help out? I'm new to your channel. Well, Ann Hines, thank you for joining me here on the Daddykirbs farm and this morning in the Daddykirbs Garden. I have 5 kids. 2 of them are grown and out of the house. One of them has created and given me 2 beautiful grandchildren. And the 3 that remain in the house, Luke is the oldest of the 3 that remain. And he is near 20. And the remaining 2 are still doing their studies. We homeschool, and they're doing homeschool, well, just lots of homeschool activities, and we're trying to get them through the high school years. And they help out by doing a lot of chicken duties. We call them chicken duties. It's really just taking care of the chickens and the ducks and the horse and the goats every morning and every evening. And then, of course, throughout the week, different projects. And yeah, everybody helps out a little bit on the farm. Permy Mama says, have you ever had a leaf cutter ant problem? I don't think so. In fact, I'll have to look up what a leaf cutter is. I know that sometimes we get those little, the ones that have the red head and the black tail. They're like carpenter ants. And I don't know if those are leaf cutters or not. But I did have, at one point, some of those get into my hive, and I think I caught the problem early enough and I took the hive apart and I used the brush and I brushed them all out, and I haven't seen them since. So hopefully they're gone. Twice the Bacon says squashing bees might happen, especially if they are angry. Then it is better to keep the lid on the squashed bee instead of trying to save them, because then it would make things worse. Yes, when you squash a bee, it sends out a smell, I guess, a pheromone, and it makes everyone angry. So, and I actually have some, the hives in the last video, the ones that you saw, that was probably one of the most pleasant experiences in a long time, because the bees were just not angry at all. You okay, bud? Do you want to go inside? Or do you want to stay here with me? Which one?
Inside.
Okay, go ahead. Adeline's in there. Okay. All right. Luke is going to take a break, go inside. I could tell he was getting a little, he was done with this part of the process. I probably interrupted my comment and I have no idea what I was saying. I didn't get that I watched the whole thing. You were very careful with handling of the hives. Thank you. Yes, I tried to be very careful. Sometimes I mess up. In fact, a lot of times I mess up, but I'm really trying to be more careful with the bees, that I hurt fewer bees. And I really believe on that last episode, I did a pretty decent job of not harming any bees. Okay. Let's see. The Weekend Homestead says there are 60 watching, 34 thumbs up. Hit the thumbs. Let's hit 50. I really do appreciate everything you guys do through the comments and through the thumbs ups and through the super chats to make this a very encouraging experience. And all of those positive interactions help YouTube know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing here. How do you treat for mites? Right now I'm not treating at all for mites. There are some mites, but one of the things that the local beekeepers, there's a group of local beekeepers that I'm friends with some of them, but I don't participate in their group because I just don't have time. They are experimenting with doing very small cells. They're sort of the native size of cell for bees, which means, let me show you. This is each one of these little shapes, hexagon, I believe they are. The size of that shape, when they talk about the cell size, a lot of the production foundation, I think it's 5.1 millimeters or something like that. There's different sizes, but the native feral hives have cell size of 4.7 to 4.8 millimeters. So what they're experimenting with is creating a 4.7 millimeter foundation and getting all the hives in the area to be that size, because what they notice is that there are no beetles and no mites and really no moths or any infestation of anything at all when the cells are that small. So that's something that I'm going to work toward. I have I put an inquiry in to see if I can purchase some of that foundation that they're creating. I'm just not there yet. Set the hive on a 45-degree angle to the lower, then twist into place. Oh, okay, I see what you're right, when I'm putting the lid on. That will push the bees out of the way as it closes, and only contact points. Okay, good. That's a good point. I'll try that out. Do I wear the wedding ring on my right? It's my left hand. It might look like the right in the video, but this is my left hand. Ann Hines, I look too young to be a grandpa? Well, thank you. That's why they call me Pappy. I insist on being called Pappy, not Grandpa, because Grandpa sounds old. Sorry, Grandpas. Wheat Tree Bonsai says, will the tax break apply to any farm equipment or supplies? It will allow me to get a tax break on getting my farm equipment either purchasing equipment, I can get it tax-free, or getting my equipment repaired, again, I can get it tax-free. It doesn't apply to any of my structures, so if any of the structures are in the exempt area, they will be taxed differently than the actual acreage. According to the guy at the county that I was talking to, he said the exemption is only for your dirt. So. Tangi the Caver's wife, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, because my son just asked if he can have more mango kombucha. Yesterday I saw that on Tangi's Instagram, which you should go check out because she's got some cool stuff. She has a really cool blog as well. She is making kombucha, and she's following my advice through my video and my recent blog post, which Tangi had a bit of help creating because I asked her to help me get that going. And she is making kombucha, and her family loves the mango kombucha. So that is wonderful. Thank you. Am I saying it wrong? Tangi? Is it Tangi or Tangi? Because Will is telling me Tangi. Sorry. Either one. I appreciate you either way, no matter how I say your name. Permy Mama, love Luke and your videos. Thank you so much. Okay. Oklahoma gives a ag tax break for structures built, i.e. wood and nails, etc. That's really cool. I wish they would exempt more on my homestead for that, but really I'll just take any break I can. So it's Tangi, or yeah, Tangi, short for tangerine. Okay, Tangi. I love your farm, especially your livestock. Luke, I love your plants as well. Tangi, Suburban Hill. I bet you guys get a kick out of just me saying everyone's name incorrectly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read some of these other comments. I feel like sometimes I just sit here and make a fool of myself, but that's okay. Liz Lopez says, how are people giving thumbs up and donating money? I can't see how. I'm on YouTube Live. I'm going to let one of the moderators answer that, because in this view that I have, I can't really explain it very well because I can't see everything. Let's see. Joseph Lynn. I probably missed it in a previous video, Blake, but I thought your son was into beekeeping and as well and was helping you upkeep of the hives. Did that change somewhere down the line? It did change, and somewhere back in my videos I explained that my son, the Golden Sun beekeeper, at some point expressed that he didn't want to be in the videos anymore. So even though occasionally he does still help with the beekeeping project, he wants nothing to do with being in the videos. That's why you are not seeing him in any of the videos anymore. And even in the playlist for 2017, it's not called the Golden Sun Beekeeper. It's just called Beekeeping Daddykirbs 2017 or something like that. And Tangi says, you're awesome, Blake. No worries. Remember, I broke your brand. Yes, as Tangi was helping me with my blog post, she was typing my name, Daddy space Kirbs. And way back 6 years ago when I established my nickname, Daddykirbs, as a brand for YouTube, I made the decision that it was going to be all one word, capital D, lowercase, so Daddykirbs, as if it's just one word. And she was typing it as 2 words, and I had to get on her case a little bit about breaking my brand. Not really, I didn't get on her case, but kind of funny stuff. Okay, let's see. Okay, so continuing on. Worm Turns Florida. This was kind of a... You're here this morning. At least Worm Turns Florida was here. Seeing those aggressive bees freak me right out. I don't know how you can stand it. Personally, I would just eradicate those genetic lines and get some new queens with better mellow genes. It seems you certainly have some Africanized bee genes in the mix with, as far as they follow you. They do follow me for quite some distance. Maybe you can create a video game app, Angry Bees. The bees chase the beekeeper who collect items. Find a smoker, find grass for it, find matches, find the beekeeper suit. Hopefully you find the beekeeper suit before they start chasing you. Upgrade to better plant pollen producers, check the hives, etc. The beekeeper has to save his family and animals from bee attacks. And the star character, of course, would look amazingly similar to Daddykirb. And you broke my brand too. I thought that comment was really fun. Yes, you're here, Worm Turns, Florida. That was really fun. I had a good chuckle when I read that because I can actually see that video game or that app game being pretty fun. And I would completely, in fact, I did reply to you in the comments that I would completely endorse if somebody wanted to create that app and use my likeness as the character. I would totally endorse that for a small fee. Just kidding. No, I'm probably not kidding. Okay. And then YSHWGTH, I have no idea how that would even be pronounced. Is there a reason why you don't use queen excluders? There are reasons. There's probably multiple reasons, and probably all of them don't necessarily make sense. But the reason that I'm going to stick to right now is that what I'm hoping for is that the bees can build the biggest possible brood nest possible, and have a brood nest that they'll be happy with for years to come. Because from what I understand, what I've been told from other beekeepers, if you can get a hive to go 2 or 3 boxes deep with their brood, then they're probably going to stay there for a long time and be a very productive. One of my beekeeping friends calls that a super hive. When the brood nest goes up into 2 or 3 boxes, they call that a super hive, and it produces a lot of honey. Right now I have 2 hives that would qualify by his definition as a super hive, and a 3rd one that I'm working on. So that's one of the reasons I'm not using the queen excluders. Now when I go to put the honey supers on, which are the boxes you put on top that they build honey in, I could put a queen excluder. Slow down, Kirby. I could put a queen excluder on top of the 3 boxes that include the brood, and just let the honey box be on top of the queen excluder. And for those of you that don't know, a queen excluder is like a wire frame that has openings in it that the workers can get through, but the queen bee, because she's a larger bee, can't get through. So it keeps her out of the upper boxes. And I saw a comment about what counts as one hive, 1 box? No, 1 hive is a stack of boxes. It could be anywhere from 1 to 6 or 7 boxes tall. Typically, there's 2 boxes for brood, which means the nest where they make baby bees, and then a box or 2 or 3 on top where they're creating the drawn out comb and they're packing honey in those. So mine, I have 2 of them right now are 3 boxes of brood with a box on top for honey, so they're 4 boxes tall. And then I have another one that is 2 of brood and 1 empty, so that's 3. And then the one that you guys haven't seen yet, but hive number 2 that you saw in the video at the end of the video yesterday, the video that's coming out tomorrow, providing I can get it edited in time, will show that I split that hive. So that's a little bit of a early information because you're here with me live. Let me see what's going on. Texas Blacksmith 10, I'm back. I had to get more coffee. Thanks for reminding me, sir. I need a little bit more myself. Beautiful. Let's see if I missed anything here. Sherry Sows, just shouting out a good morning to Daddykirbs and family from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much for allowing us into your homestead, both through your regular videos and the chats. Thank you so much for being here. And I would encourage you guys, if you want to follow along with some of the details that never make it in the videos, go ahead and check out my Instagram and my Facebook. I don't want to drive you away from YouTube because as a creator, it benefits me to keep you on YouTube. But there are bits and pieces about my story that you probably aren't going to get on YouTube. So you can secretly, don't tell YouTube, but when you're done here, slide on over to my Instagram or my Facebook, whichever one you prefer, and start checking that out because there's going to be little tidbits there that you don't get to see. And if you want to see some slightly more personal behind the scenes kind of stuff, you can go check out my Patreon account. And I'm not real good at keeping that full of information like my buddy Rob Bob. His Patreon account is always flowing with information, and I like being his patron. It's really cool to see what he's got going on there in Australia. But on my Patreon account, occasionally I give a behind the scenes or a cute family moment or something like that, because my goal there is to just build a relationship with the people that choose to support me financially. I think that's just a really fun moment, so you can check that out as well. Let me scroll through, see what I'm missing. Devonte Harmon Joseph. When installing a nuke, could I add brood bought from a local supplier to boost population quickly? Yes. A nuke. So when you're installing a nuke, you're talking about taking from the 5-frame nuke and putting into a 8 or 10 frame full-size box. If you want to add more brood, absolutely you can do that. Gotta go. Promised my son that I would take him yard sailing. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Tangi, for being with us this morning. My wife is out yard sailing right now. Hopefully she's finding me lots of cool stuff. Actually, she never finds me cool stuff. Okay. Let's see. Where am I? How are your fig trees doing? Texas Blacksmith 10. Right there. There's the fig trees. They're still in their pots. I really need to get them out on the farm, but I just haven't done that yet. You have 8 that propagated. So did you do it the same way I did? Mr. Texas Blacksmith 10, did you take them and cut them and start them in a baggie like I did? It seems to be a pretty decent way to get some roots started on some fig trees. Oh, thank you, WeTree, for posting the links to Patreon and Facebook and Instagram. And Twitter even. Yeah, my Twitter account is more about sharing other people's stuff. I do share my own too, but I share a lot of other people's stuff there. Diana Brooklyn says, make sure it's a queenless nuke. If you're just adding brood, I don't know that it has to be queenless, but you definitely don't want to add another queen, that's for sure. Because one of them will die. They're going to be... yes, you used my method. That's good. I'm glad that's working out for you. Suburban Hillbilly says, what variety of figs do you grow? The same variety as my neighbor, because I cut his tree to make them. I think they're brown turkey or turkey brown or one of those. But I really did. I just took cuttings from my neighbor's tree, and I think they're the brown turkey variety, but I'm not absolutely positive. Abby Bame says, I'm still waiting for you to accept me on Facebook. Well, go check out my my page, my Facebook page. Honestly, I get hundreds of people, brown turkey fig, yes. I get hundreds of people asking to be my friend on my personal Facebook, and I try to accept some, but it's really hard to keep up with that. So if I haven't added you yet, I apologize, but I do encourage you to go check out Daddykirbs Farm Facebook page, because quite honestly, my personal Facebook is really just a reflection of that page. I don't hardly post anything personal, so the page will give the same information. Okay, lots of good stuff there. I'm just kind of looking through. It is Daddykirbs. Daddy, I think my page is Daddykirbs Farm. Weetree just posted a link. Liz Lopez, have you got a friend? She said, I asked last time, but let's see. Have you got a friend for Maggie yet? We have a person, to answer the question, we have not got a friend for Maggie yet other than us, because she loves us and she comes up and hangs out with us. But there's a horse that we're looking at. So there's a possibility that we will be adding one more horse to the farm, and the main reason for that is for a friend for Maggie. But from what we understand is that this other horse is a beautiful, I think it's 15 or 16 years old, well-trained horse that needs a home. I think it's a military family that's moving out of the area, and they would like for the horse to stay someplace where it's going to be loved. So that's a possibility. We need to go meet the horse and see if it's right. And before I can bring that horse home, I need to finish the fence across the back of the property, or the middle of the property here, because there's no way that my farm could handle 2 free-range horses eating everything. So it is a possibility that we'll get another horse. Okay, let's see if there's another question here. Josephine Gallegos, talking about the bees. Aren't you afraid of them? I wanted to start one, but watching you, I don't think I will do very well. Maybe someday. Sorry if you misspelled it. That's okay, Josephine. I misspell and misspeak all the time. I am sometimes, early on in my beekeeping, I was sort of afraid. Then I kind of got over it. And then last fall, I think it was, I had that incident where I was sort of attacked. Now, lucky for me, I had a suit on, but I had thousands of bees come out all at one time. So after that, I kind of had a little bit more fear, and only now am I sort of getting over that. So I have a very healthy respect for the bees. And you say you wanted to start one, but you don't think you would do very well? Don't worry about whether you're going to do well. Just try it. That's the kind of, you just have to. I mess everything up. I mean, check out my videos. I have projects that I've started and failed and started and failed, and that's just part of the journey. Anyone that thinks that projects themselves as an expert and claims to not mess up is probably not telling the truth, because you have to get in and get experience. It would be really cool if you had a beekeeping expert, a mentor that could sit with you, look over your shoulder the whole time, hold your hand and tell you what you're doing, but that's not very realistic. I don't have anyone here to help me. I don't have any mentors that's going to come in and do what I'm doing when I'm doing it to make sure that I'm not messing up. So I just need to be able to get in there and be willing to mess up, and I do. I mess up a lot, but I'm also learning a lot. So don't be afraid to get in there and do something. It says, let's see, Mark Cromer, when you put a lid on or another box on, do you squish any bees? I just bought a nice Ware, that's a different style hive, and I don't want to kill any. I sort of addressed that already, but yes, I do kill some sometimes, but I'm getting a lot better at not killing bees. My technique of putting lids on and putting boxes on is getting a lot better. So I kill fewer bees. Ann Hines says, how long have you been a creator? My whole life. But you mean YouTube. YouTube, I've been on YouTube for, I think my account is about 10 years old, but my first real video that launched me into being a creator was, I think, about 7 years ago. And then I had just kind of this rocky start, not really being focused on what I was doing. And then over the last year or two, I've had a more focused view of, oh, thank you. POV Antagonist, vicariously homesteading by watching your videos. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm guessing, sir. I don't know. POV Antagonist, thank you for that $5 super chat. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad that you're getting something out of the videos. What is a creator? A video creator, someone who creates videos for YouTube. That's my assumption of what they meant anyway. Let's see. All right, we are at 50 minutes and I have exhausted my notes. So I'm going to hang out for another couple minutes to wrap up some final questions. And if you have anything that you want answered, if you want to take a chance at, not a chance, what am I saying? Sometimes my brain just goes away. Anyway, I do want to encourage you to go check out, one of my moderators is also a video creator. That's the Weekend Homestead. That's Will Wallace. You can go check out his stuff and see what kind of stuff he's got going on up there up north where it gets cold and freezes in the wintertime, a place I don't want to be, but he's doing a beautiful job at maintaining his little homestead up there. And so check out him, check out Tangi, the Caver's wife. Check out her blog and her Facebook and all of her other resources. I truly appreciate her for helping me out on my blog post. Let's see. Is there anything you could add to blackberry bushes to make them grow stronger? I don't know the answer to that. Sorry, hopefully I can learn that, but I don't know it right now. The Weekend Homestead is making birch syrup today. He does a lot of maple syrup and other just creative things that you can do in the north that you can't do here in Texas. Tangi is the bomb. Texas Blacksmith 10 says add sulfur to make the soil more acidic. And that, thank you for that advice there, Mr. Texas Blacksmith 10. Any final questions, comments? I do truly appreciate this time that you guys spend with me Saturday mornings. I have grown to look forward to this time. At first, when I first started doing live streams, I thought I would do 20 or 30 minutes because I just didn't think I would have anything to say and I would be too nervous to talk to you guys. But you have been extremely gracious and kind, and I have just loved being here on Saturday mornings. I look forward to hanging out with you every Saturday, and I'm stalling. Right now I'm stalling. Let me tell you why. Because Will, the Weekend Homestead, is trying to get us to hit 75 thumbs ups, and he says we have 13 to go. So if I talk just a little longer, maybe we can do that. Thank you, Wheat Tree Bonsai, for helping out with the moderating. You have been wonderful. Kate, thank you for being with me. I'm not sure if you're still in the room here, but you are a great friend, a great neighbor, and I truly appreciate you being here as a moderator as well. My buddy Øystein, who is in Norway, couldn't be with us because he's in a remote location in Norway today and couldn't join in on the live stream. Worm Turns Florida, thumbs up, keep disappearing, and I see no link for the super chat. Somebody else was talking about the super chat $sign logo, or the icon wasn't showing up in the mobile view, so maybe it's not available in mobile. That's okay. That's okay. 4 to go, 72, 73, 2 to go, woohoo, 75, we made it, 76. Awesome, so I can stop stalling. I see Nikki Tierney, thanks for your time. Always look forward on Saturday mornings. We are working towards starting a homestead, so trying to learn everything. And I do truly appreciate you including my channel in your journey. My story in your story. Thank you so much. I am going to close this down, but I truly do appreciate you being here with me. And I'll see you next Saturday live, and hopefully throughout the week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, you'll see another video.